science. Please, to the beginning when we spoke about gram stain. And please, basic gram-positive and gram-negative group of bacteria. Gram-positive and gram-negative groups of bacteria, I may ask you something. First of all, gram-negative, all enteric bacteria, including cholera vibrio. Gram-negative, all enteric groups of bacteria, including cholera vibrio. Also, gram-negative will be all spiral-shaped and twisted forms, like spirochetes, spirulas, and vibrios as well. Pen? Okay.
Because it's very
all spiral forms of bacteria, gram-negative. So, and limited cocci, two more groups. Limited cocci like Gona and meningococci. And two more groups. And important non-spore-forming anaerobes bacteroids. And I don't want to overload you with this name from bacteriology. This was lost class at all. It was first class in bacteriology beginning on September. So people like non-fermenting gram-negative like anaerobic bacteria. Write down Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Highly important microbe because highly antibiotic resistant. So they are gram-negative. What are gram-positive? Mostly all the cocci except Neisseria we said. So, gram-positive, bacilli and Clostridia, fungi and actinomyces, That's why first two groups are the most important, cocci and bacilli Clostridia. So, here's it. Okay, coming back to our current situation. So, people, what to... I stayed my mobile phone. So, people, what to revise? Revise PCR, please. I will say some words, but a little bit later. Revise PCR. And revise from rest of three questions. And revise antibiotic resistance. First of all, methods for detection of microbial resistance to antibiotics. It is the last small paragraph. Methods of detection of microbial resistance to antibiotics. Diffusion test and serial dilution test. Lipid medium first of all. Diffusion test and serial dilution test. Before I show you, I will explain, indicate. Next moment, people. Revise groups of antibiotics according to their mechanism of action. By the way, not only groups in general, like even beta-lactams, but subgroups like penicillin, cephalosporin, carbapenem. At least names I will be satisfied. So inhibitors, for example, of protein synthesis, not something taken anything, but tetracyclines, aminoglycosides, and of course, adjust to at least one group, at least one example. Pharmacology already started, it will be helpful for you. Not so difficult like at second course. So that is, okay? Okay. Let it be so. Now I think time to stand up and surround my table. I think ladies going in first rows, gentlemen make second row. So first of all, finishing with ELISA test. Just a moment. Okay. So first ELISA test. So about theory of test I said to you about. So your task will be to explain what do you see here. These four are controls. Pair positive controls, pair negative controls. So, then you will revise the wells. 4 wells are positive, that usually corresponds to 2 patients. 2 patients because we usually get the quantities of optical density and they usually have some error of estimation, so they should be taken average from 2. Okay? This is ELISA test. Next, PCR. So, theory, of course, revise, steps of reactions, reagents like primers, why do we use primers and so on. And this picture will be exposed, depends on class, on screen, or I simply give you during your prepare. So, this is the result of detection of PCR by electrophoresis. Here it is electrophoresis, because it's very fresh. fresh our practical work. We did it recently. So PCR for detection of hepatitis B. By the way, the same indicated in the equations. So here they are. And this is the result of electrophoresis. And here they are bands of nucleic acid stained with special fluorescent dye, usually ethidium bromide. Ethidium bromide you will see in description of PCR. So here it is. How many controls are present?
3.
3. One is this one. It's negative. This is positive. It means indicating the position of band corresponding to hepatitis B virus nucleic acid. And this is internal control. Internal control. How many patients were taken? 5. How many positive of them? 3. So that's why internal control and presence of bands corresponding to internal control indicates correct performance of the reaction. Okay, but positive are only 3. Okay, understood. Let it be so. This is PCR. And finally, antibiotic susceptibility testing. I forgot to say one comment. We will sit and write. So here it is. The result. And what are the strange holes? Oh, someone tried to make wells here. And so people, I don't know why. So sorry. Very deeply. What should be dark background. You will also may use your support or something like this, and somewhere inside I have scaling paper. Scaling paper. You have to explain. The principle. First of all, by the way, reagents is clear. Disc with antibiotics and microbial culture growth. Sometimes students begin to think, where do we take microbial culture from? From whom? Easy. Patient, of course. So our task to treat this patient as soon as possible. That's why we should check as soon as possible the resistance of some of this microbe to some certain antibiotics. So that's why people, this case 4 discs were given. I recommend you, not recommend you, I simply explain that no need to try to read what are the antibiotics printed upon the disc. First of all, abbreviations sometimes unclear. Second thing, abbreviations are in Russian. And third thing, sometimes abbreviations are almost not readable. So that's why I simply indicate number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay? So people, and you see the termination of growth of microbes somewhere in areas surrounding their disc. Do you remember the name of this official name of this area? Growth inhibition zone. Growth inhibition zone. Measuring the diameter of growth inhibition zone, we will write this down, and I will say here there are three grades of resistance: susceptible or sensitive, opposite will be resistant, and between will be intermediate. So people, for every pair microbe antibiotics, there will be various grades, various limits of distance of diameter of growth inhibition zone. But people, approximately, more than 25 sensitive, less than 10 resistant. Everything between will be intermediate. We will write this down. Your task will be to explain how it works, then how to make this test, and then measure the diameter, indicate for this undoubtedly will be sensitive, susceptible to these discs. For this may be intermediate, this also may be susceptible. This will be undoubtedly resistant. Okay? Let it be so. And I will begin to ask names of antibiotics and which group according to the mechanism do they belong to and so on. Okay. Serial dilution test. Here. First of all, by the way, no, maybe this looks better. No, little bit really. It looks a little bit better, but incorrectly. Okay, by the way, no. Control normal, but why? First test tube has become contaminated. Put it away. No, this looks better. This really almost nothing. Maybe after a long time opening, closing. So first of all, first recommendation: to shake all test tubes maximally, because after overnight they will, my overgrown microbes will set upon the board. No, something visible. So do you see the difference between these two? No, at least this is more turbid, this is transparent and dark. So okay. So people, I removed first wells, that's why control should be here. So the titration, no, maybe I reorient totally in normal. Control will be, let it be last one, 32, 16, 8 and 4. Here's a concentration of antibiotics in microgram or milligram per liter, microgram per 1 ml. So people, this test determines basic characteristic of antibiotic and microbe. Minimum inhibitory concentration. Your task, you will when revising, you will see minimum inhibitory concentration is the minimal concentration of antibiotic that still prevents visible growth of microbes. Visible growth of microbes. And if to control, no antibiotic should be growth. You see turbid. If to compare, for example, with this one, right? Mm-hmm. So okay, and then I'll raise you all four. This is turbid. First three not. This tube will be MIC, minimum inhibitory concentration. This grows, this no. 1, 2, 3. This one will be minimum. It corresponds to 8 microgram per ml. Okay, okay. So now finally, I think we finished the description of everything of that. Okay. So grades of resistance for diameters of growth in the initial zone. So more 20 equal more than 25, equal or more than 25. Susceptible. Equal or more than 25, susceptible. Less than 10, resistant. 10 equal less than 10, resistant. And so, okay, equal or more than 25, diameter of growth inhibition zone. Equal or more than 25, susceptible or sensitive. Okay? So, equal less than 10 millimeters, resistant. Everything between, intermediate. Okay? Was it clear? No, maybe that's so. Have you maybe some questions? All right. In remaining time, I recommend you to go and revise. So just a moment. Gentlemen, lady may be free. Gentlemen, stay. Okay. Gentlemen.